The room was silent, except for one sound, the faint echo of laughter playing from Wendy Osefo's phone. Her fingers trembled as she replayed the clip again and again, her reflection flickering in the glass screen. On it, Edward's voice, calm, familiar. Then another voice, Monique's, softer, but sharp enough to slice through the stillness. "Don't worry, Ed. She'll never find out." That single sentence detonated the internet. Within hours, hashtags like #HadEdwardLeak and #WendyExposes Monique trended worldwide. The clip was only 42 seconds long, grainy, shaky, almost too perfect. Some said it was fake. Others swore it was recorded in secret, late one night after a reunion party. No one knew who leaked it or why. But when Wendy finally broke her silence, she didn't deny it. She didn't cry. She didn't even blink. Her voice, cold and surgical, cut through the noise. You can hide a lie for a while, but the truth always leaks. And just like that, every timeline, every podcast, every gossip forum ignited. Because if this was real, if Edward really said those words, then what people thought was a happy marriage was already over. But what happened next changed everything. Before the leak, before the chaos, before that 42-second clip destroyed everything, Wendy and Edward Osefo were the perfect couple. They were reality TV royalty, the image of success, the kind of pair who smiled in interviews like they were built from confidence and chemistry. On camera, Wendy was poised, eloquent, and magnetic. Edward was charming, protective, and proud to stand beside her. Together, they embodied the dream that fans wanted to believe in: love, loyalty, and luxury. Every Sunday night, millions tuned in to watch their family moments unfold. The laughter at dinner, the inside jokes, the way Edward would glance at Wendy with quiet admiration. To viewers, it felt authentic. To tabloids, it was content gold. Magazines labeled them the power couple of Potomac. But behind the filters and photo ops, something small, barely visible, had already started to crack. It began with missed appearances. Edward skipping an event he'd promised to attend. Wendy smiling too tightly during a reunion special. In hindsight, those were warning signs, but at the time, no one paid attention. Then came the interviews, carefully edited, perfectly polished. One in particular stood out. Wendy was asked about her marriage, and she smiled, saying, "Every couple has their storms, but ours always clears." It was a beautiful line, almost rehearsed. Fans loved it. But to insiders, it sounded like code. Because soon after, someone from production whispered that Wendy had stormed off set minutes before that line was filmed. Something was wrong, a former crew member later claimed in a leaked chat. You could feel the tension. The silence between them wasn't normal, it was heavy. That silence became the story. In one episode, Wendy was seen scrolling on her phone while Edward tried to speak. Her reaction, calm, detached, almost too calm, sparked online debates. Some said she was just tired, others thought it was a woman who already knew the truth. Then came the incident, a moment fans dismissed back then, but one that now feels like the first domino. During a reunion after-party, cameras accidentally caught Edward stepping aside with Monique Samuels. It was brief, maybe 30 seconds. They laughed, exchanged a look, then disappeared behind a curtain. Producers claimed it was nothing. But now, after the leak, that clip has resurfaced, slowed down, analyzed frame by frame. Every gesture, every glance, every microsecond of body language. It all looks different now. Wendy's supporters online began piecing the puzzle together. "Look at her face," one user wrote under a viral TikTok. "That's not shock, it's recognition." Another comment read, "She's been acting like she knew something for months." But back then, Wendy stayed silent. Her Instagram showed perfection. Family photos, motivational quotes, charity events. Her captions were all about grace and growth. Not a single hint of pain. To the untrained eye, she was thriving. But silence, as always, speaks in its own language. Then one night, everything changed. A mysterious account uploaded a video titled Osefo After Hours. The thumbnail showed Edward in a dark suit, sitting across from a woman whose face was partially blurred. The audio, though muffled, was unmistakable. Edward's voice. "She'll ask questions soon. I just need more time." Then, a soft laugh. "Monique's. You always say that." The clip ended abruptly, cutting to black. Within minutes, it was everywhere. Reddit, Twitter, Instagram stories. And the speculation exploded. Was it real? Was it a deepfake? Or was it the one thing Wendy had been trying to protect all along? Blogs started dissecting the timeline. They pointed out how, days before the leak, Wendy had deleted several photos of her and Edward. Fans noticed she'd unfollowed him on certain platforms, though later refollowed, almost as if someone told her to keep up appearances. Then came the podcast moment. Wendy appeared on a women's empowerment show, smiling through tight lips, saying, "Not every truth needs an audience, but sometimes silence becomes complicity." The host laughed, thinking it was just metaphor. But fans watching live caught the tremor in Wendy's voice. That was the first real crack. A few hours later, a fan posted a screenshot, supposedly from a group chat labeled Production Notes. In it, someone wrote, "Wendy's mic picked up something last week. She doesn't know we have it." The message was followed by a series of lock emojis and a timestamp that matched the night of the reunion afterparty. No one could verify it, but that didn't stop the internet from turning it into a full-blown investigation. Theories multiplied. Some said Monique leaked the footage out of revenge. Others claimed someone inside production sold it for money. A few even accused Edward himself of trying to control the narrative before Wendy found out. But the strangest theory came from a now-deleted Reddit post by a user claiming to be an editor for the show. The post read, "If you think that 42-second clip is the whole story, you have no idea what was cut." That one sentence ignited the biggest online frenzy in the show's history. Every gossip outlet wanted more. Every YouTube commentator uploaded reaction videos. Everyone was waiting for Wendy to break her silence. And when she finally did, it wasn't in a press release or a tearful interview. It was through a single, chilling Instagram story. No words, just a black background, and a single quote. "You can lie to cameras, but you can't lie to playback." That post alone got over 2 million shares within hours. It wasn't just a response, it was a declaration. Wendy wasn't just hurt, she was preparing for something. Insiders say she refused to film for several days after that. She stopped taking calls from producers. Friends close to her claimed she was gathering evidence, screenshots, and private messages. Whatever she was planning, it wasn't revenge, it was exposure. By the time production reached out, Wendy's entire tone had shifted. Gone was the woman who smiled politely on camera. In her place stood someone colder, sharper, deliberate. She was no longer protecting an image, she was protecting herself. Then, another twist surfaced. A voice message allegedly from Monique leaked on X. In it, Monique could be heard saying, "He told me he'd handle it before the season aired. I didn't think she'd find out this way." That leak confirmed what many already suspected. This wasn't an accident. Someone had been hiding something for a long time, and it was finally unraveling. Wendy's fans turned into digital detectives. They cross-referenced dates, outfits, timestamps, even the wine glasses seen in background shots. One Twitter thread went viral, claiming that the same glassware appeared in both Monique's vlog and Edward's Instagram story from the same night. Coincidence? Maybe. But the internet doesn't believe in coincidence anymore. The media picked it up. Entertainment sites published think pieces with headlines like, "The Osefo Mirage, when reality TV meets real betrayal." Morning shows debated whether the clip was invasion of privacy or evidence of deceit. But while the world speculated, Wendy stayed silent. She made no public appearances, canceled interviews, and avoided red carpets. Only one insider described her demeanor. She's quiet, too quiet, like someone who already knows what the final truth is, and it's worse than what we've seen. And that's when the narrative shifted from scandal to suspicion. Because if Wendy knew all along, why did she wait? And if she didn't, who was the one feeding her clues behind the scenes? The answers weren't clear, but one thing was, the perfect image was shattered, and from its reflection, a much darker story was starting to emerge. When the clip first leaked, most people thought it would fade within days, another messy scandal destined to drown beneath the next trending story. But that's not what happened. Instead, something far stranger unfolded. Within hours, online detectives took over. Reddit threads multiplied by the minute. TikTok users began syncing the leaked audio with older clips from the Real Housewives of Potomac, trying to match tone, background noise, even the faint hum of air conditioning. Someone slowed the video down and claimed you could see a reflection, Monique's bracelet flashing under low light. Another insisted the way Edward said, "She'll never find out," matched a conversation from months earlier, captured during a cast trip in Atlanta. Suddenly, this wasn't gossip. It was an investigation, and the deeper people looked, the stranger it got. A Twitter account named @PotomacLeaks appeared overnight, posting screenshots of what looked like internal production emails. One read, "Need to review unreleased reunion footage. Legal approval pending due to privacy concerns." That line sent the internet spiraling. If there was unreleased footage, what else was hidden? Why privacy concerns? And most importantly, who had something to hide? Within a day, #Osefo files trended across platforms. Theories ranged from calculated PR sabotage to personal revenge. Some believed Wendy's team leaked it themselves to expose Edward on her own terms. Others were convinced it was Monique's way of reclaiming relevance after her dramatic exit from the franchise. But one Reddit user posted something that changed the direction of everything. They uploaded a 10-second clip, grainy, zoomed in, filmed off a monitor. You could barely see anything, just two silhouettes standing near a production truck. But the audio was chilling. A woman's voice. "Delete that footage before she sees it." A man's reply. "It's already backed up. You can't erase everything." The post exploded. Some said it was fake. Others swore it matched voices from the show's crew. Either way, it poured gasoline on an already raging fire. Soon after, an entertainment blogger named Tasha Cole uploaded a video claiming to have sources inside Bravo's post-production team. Her quote hit like a bomb. "They've been sitting on multiple unreleased scenes. Some were cut because of what Edward said when cameras weren't rolling. Wendy's people know. They're just waiting for the right time to use it." It was the first time someone suggested this wasn't just infidelity, it was strategy. The timeline, once messy, started forming patterns. Fans created digital maps connecting every event leading to the leak. March. Edward and Edith. Monique spotted at a charity gala, unconfirmed photos. April. Wendy deletes a joint post featuring Edward. May. Monique uploads a girls' night photo with an unidentified man cropped from the frame. June. The audio leak appears. Each piece aligned too neatly to feel random. Meanwhile, Wendy stayed silent. Completely silent. No posts, no statements, no stories. Just one cryptic quote pinned to her profile. "Every truth has a timestamp." The silence made everything louder. Then, another shock. A leaked screenshot surfaced showing an encrypted email exchange allegedly between Edward and someone listed as M. The subject line, "No more cameras." The email body, short but suggestive, read, "I'm done pretending. She's already suspicious. We'll talk when things calm down." That single message ignited a digital wildfire. If it was real, it confirmed everything the internet suspected. But skeptics noticed something else. The timestamp. The email was dated 2 weeks before the reunion taping, meaning Edward might have already been planning his next move before anyone knew a thing. The rhythm of the story shifted. The audience wasn't just watching, they were participating. YouTubers released hour-long breakdowns. Voice analysts tried to authenticate the recordings. Digital detectives recreated timelines. Someone even tracked Monique's jewelry line, claiming a bracelet identical to the one seen in the leaked clip was released just days after filming Wrapped. Coincidence? Maybe. But coincidences were running out. Then, an anonymous tip hit a gossip forum claiming Wendy's assistant had turned whistleblower. The post said, "There's a file on her laptop labeled Project Silent. It's not about work. It's about him." Fans went insane. Project Silent trended instantly. Some thought it referred to legal documents, others to a video or backup of the original footage. But what truly caught everyone's attention was a single follow-up comment from the same anonymous account. "She's saving it for court, not television." Suddenly, the tone of the story changed. This wasn't reality TV drama anymore. It was a quiet war. Journalists started digging. Entertainment outlets cited legal representatives declining to comment. Meanwhile, fans flooded Wendy's old posts, begging for answers. "Blink twice if it's true." "Drop Project Silent." "We're on your side." Then, as if to confirm everything, an unknown Dropbox link circulated across private group chats. The title, Project Silent V2. It was only up for an hour before disappearing, but a few users claimed they saw its contents. A folder of short audio fragments, one titled The Call. According to those who heard it, it contained a recording of Wendy's voice saying, "You told me it was over, Edward. You promised." Then a pause, followed by Edward's voice, colder than ever. "Promises only matter if the cameras are still rolling." If that clip was real, it meant one thing. The Osefo marriage had been dying long before the public ever knew. The fallout was immediate. Monique's name started trending again, this time with hate comments and old footage resurfacing. Every public statement she'd made was re-examined for hidden meaning. An old interview where she said, "Some women only think they have control," suddenly felt like a dagger. But here's where things took an unexpected turn. Days after the chaos peaked, a private investigator, hired by a blogger, claimed that part of the leaked clip came from a security camera, not a production feed. If that was true, then someone outside Bravo had access to confidential footage. That revelation flipped everything upside down. Now, the focus wasn't just on betrayal, it was on surveillance. Who recorded the private moment? Who uploaded it? And why did it surface months after filming ended? Theories multiplied again. Some said a producer leaked it to boost ratings. Others swore an ex-employee from Bravo sold the footage to tabloids. But the darkest theory claimed that Wendy herself orchestrated the release as part of a larger plan, to expose both Edward and Monique at the same time, while keeping her own hands clean. That theory gained traction after one of Wendy's old friends tweeted and deleted this. She always said revenge doesn't need volume, it needs timing. By now, the story had taken a life of its own. No one trusted anyone. Every post, every quote, every gesture was dissected frame by frame. Even Wendy's silence became performance art. Her calm, the way she walked into church, the way she smiled at charity events. It all looked like strategy now. But the biggest twist arrived during a press conference Wendy attended weeks later. Cameras flashed, reporters screamed questions, and amid the chaos, she uttered one sentence that sent chills across social media. "When truth is edited, what remains is performance." The room fell silent. She didn't elaborate. She didn't answer follow-ups. She just walked away. That single moment changed everything. Because suddenly, people realized, if Wendy was suggesting the truth was edited, then the leaked video might not have been the whole story at all. Was it manipulated? Cropped? Reframed to protect someone else? In the following days, a new wave of leaks began. This time not from fans, but from alleged insiders. Someone claiming to be a technical editor released metadata showing that parts of the original audio were spliced from multiple takes. Meaning, the 42-second clip could have been assembled. If that was true, then the question flipped. Who was being framed? Edward? Monique? Or Wendy herself? Theories turned into warfare. Online communities divided between #Team Wendy and #Team Edward. Some said she was the victim. Others claimed she was the mastermind. But in the middle of all this noise, one chilling detail slipped through the cracks. A journalist discovered that 3 days before the first leak, an encrypted payment of $15,000 was transferred to an anonymous account tied to an offshore email address ending in @veilmedia.org. No one knew what Veil Media was, but one archived webpage described it as a crisis image management firm specializing in narrative control. That discovery changed everything again. Because now the question wasn't just who leaked the tape, it was who paid for it. And just as the frenzy reached its peak, Wendy vanished. No posts, no sightings, no interviews. Only silence. But the kind of silence that didn't feel peaceful. The kind that meant something was coming next. For days, the world waited. But Wendy Osefo didn't post a thing. Her social media went dark. No Instagram stories, no interviews, no cryptic quotes, just silence. And in that silence, chaos grew louder. News outlets began to panic. Paparazzi camped outside her Maryland home. Bloggers refreshed her pages every hour. Some even tracked private flights, convinced she'd left the country. The same woman who once shared every detail of her life had suddenly vanished from public view. At first, people assumed it was a PR tactic. Maybe she was letting the storm die down. But as days turned to weeks, the silence started to feel different. Colder, heavier, purposeful. Because while everyone else was talking, Wendy was listening. Then came a whisper, an unverified rumor claiming she'd hired a private team of digital investigators. Their mission? Trace the origins of the leak. Not through gossip, but through data. By week 3, something strange happened. The @Potomac Leaks account that had been posting screenshots and emails suddenly disappeared. Its entire archive gone. And in its place, a new account appeared, @ProjectSilentOfficial. The first post was only 2 words: check your sources. The message was vague, but the timing wasn't. Within hours, every major outlet that had published leaked material received a cease and desist order from an anonymous legal firm based in DC. The letter claimed the footage violated digital consent laws and that more evidence would surface in due course. Suddenly, the media narrative flipped again. Was Wendy the victim or the orchestrator? Some journalists claimed this was a power move, a calculated chess play to regain control. Others said she'd discovered something much darker, proof that someone from production, or even Bravo's upper management, had manipulated the entire leak to destroy her reputation. Then, one night, a reporter from the Daily Scoop released a single sentence that froze the internet. A second video exists, and it changes everything. They didn't post it. They didn't describe it. Just the sentence. But that was enough. Second video trended within an hour. YouTube channels dedicated to decoding reality TV began live stream countdowns, waiting for its release. And when it finally dropped, it wasn't what anyone expected. The video opened with static. Then, a dimly lit dressing room. Wendy sat at a mirror, her face pale, her voice steady. "You think cameras catch the truth?" she said quietly. "They only catch what they're allowed to see." She didn't look into the lens, she didn't name names, but behind her, a reflection flickered, 2 figures arguing. Edward's voice, unmistakable, saying, "You wanted the world to see you as perfect." Her reply, calm but devastating, "No, Edward, I wanted the world to see you as human." Then the video cut out. No credits, no timestamp, just a black screen. That fragment spread like wildfire. Some called it a confession. Others said it was manipulation. The lines between truth and performance blurred completely. But one thing became undeniable. The silence had been Wendy's weapon all along. As the internet scrambled to decode the meaning, legal documents began circulating quietly online. A motion filed under seal, connected to a digital defamation and privacy breach case, listed both Wendy Osefo and an unnamed third party as respondents. The third party's initials? MS Monique Samuels. That single clue reignited the fire. Fans dissected the motion, calling it proof of a hidden legal war. Some speculated Wendy had discovered that Monique wasn't just involved emotionally, but financially. Screenshots from public records allegedly linked Monique to an LLC that received funding from Veil Media, the same shadowy firm tied to the original leak. If true, it meant the entire scandal, the leak, the chaos, the betrayal, might have been part of a professional takedown operation. As this revelation spread, something eerie began happening online. Posts exposing Monique started vanishing. Entire accounts went missing. Users reported shadow bans and sudden logouts. It was as if someone, or something, was trying to erase the trail. Meanwhile, Wendy reappeared. Not on TV, not in interviews, but in a single, haunting video uploaded to her verified YouTube channel titled Silence Speaks. The video opened with soft piano music. Wendy sat alone in a dark room, her silhouette framed by a single lamp. She spoke slowly, deliberately. People think silence means defeat, but silence is strategy. I watched them build their story, piece by piece, thinking I wouldn't notice the seams. But when you let people talk long enough, they reveal everything. Then she smiled, faint, tired, but unbroken. They wanted to end my story. They just gave me a better beginning. She didn't mention names. She didn't confirm or deny anything. But behind her words, there was power, a calm defiance that terrified her enemies and fascinated her fans. Comments flooded in by the thousands. She's not done yet. The Queen of Calm just ended them in silence. This is bigger than we think. Then, a few hours later, a final message appeared on her community tab. The truth isn't hidden, it's archived. That line sent the internet spiraling once more. Archived where? Users asked. Forums lit up with theories. Some believed Wendy had backed up every file, every recording, and was preparing to drop it all at once. Others thought it was symbolic, a way to say the truth was safe, even if she wasn't speaking it. But 3 days later, a tech blogger made a shocking discovery. A private drive connected to an old Bravo production server contained a folder named Archive.wo. Inside were encrypted files, time-stamped over several months, exactly during the filming of the latest season. The files were password protected, but one title stood out: Final Cut Silence MP4. No one could open it. But the metadata showed it had been modified one day before Wendy's YouTube video went live. Coincidence or coordination? Soon after, Edward deactivated his social accounts. Monique released a statement through her rep denying all involvement. But by then, it didn't matter. The internet had already chosen sides, and Wendy's side was winning. What struck people most wasn't what she said, but what she didn't. The restraint, the timing, the quiet. It was as if she'd turned silence into language, grief into narrative, and betrayal into control. Weeks passed, and still, no new leaks, no new posts. The chaos finally began to settle. But just as the story seemed to fade, a journalist from The Viewpoint published a closing line that felt like prophecy. When the world goes quiet, it's not always peace. Sometimes, it's the sound before the next revelation. And maybe that's exactly what Wendy wanted, to let everyone think it was over. But then, an unexpected update. Late one night, users began receiving random notifications on YouTube suggesting a new upload from Wendy's channel. When they clicked, the video was gone, deleted before it even processed. Only the thumbnail remained visible for a split second. A black background, white text, one line, playback, part 2. That was it. No one knew if it was a glitch, a scheduled post, or a message. But those who saw it swear they heard faint audio under the static, a woman's whisper. "You weren't supposed to see this yet." The line echoed across TikTok, Reddit, and X. Fans posted slowed-down versions, frame-by-frame analyses, spectral waveforms trying to decode the voice. Some said it was Wendy. Others thought it sounded eerily like Monique. No one could agree. But one truth remained. The silence wasn't the end. It was the reset. The Osefo story had started with a leak, burned through a scandal, and ended in an unresolved whisper. A cycle that felt both deliberate and dangerous. Because in Hollywood, and in reality TV, the real power isn't in what's said. It's in what's withheld. And as one viral comment perfectly put it, if the truth had a voice, it would sound like Wendy Osefo's silence. So now, as the world waits for Wendy's next move, one question lingers louder than all the noise. Was this silence her final act of strength? Or the calm before another storm? Maybe she's done fighting publicly. Or maybe she's simply shifted the battlefield, away from cameras, away from gossip, into the one space no one can edit. The truth itself. Because when every lie has been aired, when every secret has been sold, silence becomes the only thing left that can't be manipulated. And that's what makes this story so haunting. It isn't just about betrayal, or fame, or scandal. It's about how one woman used silence as her weapon, her shield, and her voice. But if the whispers are true, if Playback Part 2 is real, then what comes next might change everything we think we know. So, what do you believe? Was Wendy's silence justice? Or strategy? Was Edward a victim of manipulation? Or the author of his own downfall? And most importantly, who really leaked that first clip? Share your thoughts below, because sometimes silence says more than truth ever could. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep your eyes open, because this story, it's far from over.